Guys, the future of MMOs is at risk, and Amazon has revealed what that future might look like. That's right, we all love our World of Warcraft, we all love playing our Blizzard MMO. There's other MMOs out there, and they're not doing so well. And in fact, they're making a pivot now to something that we might not like. Let's check out this video real quick from here. Bellular News, Amazon just gutted their entire MMO division for AI slop. Oh no. Let's check this video out.
A month after releasing their latest update, New World's team has been laid off. The game has been put on ice. No new
This is a
content,
shocker.
And now, for the community, all that looms is a server switch off. Which means this is a hard end for an MMO that, at its beginning, boasted nearly 1 million concurrent players at launch.
Damn, that's crazy. Look at these numbers. Look, I mean, I was one of these million. I played New World at launch. It was probably one of the few other MMOs that I've ever played at launch. The other one was, I didn't play World of Warcraft at launch. I started it in 2005. But Warhammer Online, if you guys remember that one, when that one came out, I played that at launch. I did dabble a little bit in, not World Star. What the hell was it called? The whatever Star game. It was a very good game. That one I feel bad that it ever died. But basically, it did have a great launch. I feel like it had good hype. It had good things about it. I still say till this day, gathering in New World is the best form of gathering I've ever seen in MMO. Chopping down trees in New World is therapeutic. Same with mining. It's the sounds, the echoes. It was I thought it had some redeeming qualities to it. So it is sad that Amazon's going to go ahead and kill this thing off. It feels like it deserved better. WildStar, yes. WildStar is what I'm thinking of, not World Star, where you watch people fight in the streets.
Obviously, not all of them stuck around, but enough did.
WildStar had
And it meant
promise.
This was Amazon Gaming's biggest homegrown success. But here's the thing. This story isn't just about New World, because behind the scenes, Amazon Games is undergoing their latest pivot. One of many they've made over the last 15 years, where now they're ending New World, allegedly killing their Lord of the Rings MMO.
What? Oh no, really? I totally thought maybe this was a Lord of the Rings MMO play, that they didn't want two MMOs. Like somebody else said that in the chat already. Yeah, it was the Silvery. You said maybe they're focusing on the Lord of the Rings online thing. If they're really killing this MMO, are they pivoting away from MMOs completely? That's a shocker if this is the case.
And internal MMOs just seem to be off the table entirely. What are they excited about instead? Well, when you take a look at Amazon's new direction, I think New Worlds' cancellation does actually make a bit more sense. Because they're excited about such things as this, a chatbot-powered Snoop Dogg improv game. Yep, I really said those words, and that really is a thing that Amazon are pushing. Look, if you don't want to code or you're not into games, skip this, but if not, then I have got something for you, and that is boot.dev/Bellular News. They're today's sponsor, and you know what? Where the fuck were they a decade ago?
You know what it is with these big companies? They're getting jealous. They're getting jealous of the little indie dev companies that have 4 developers. They put in whatever X amount of dollars and they get like an immensely popular game out there that people love, and they make a shit ton of money and the profit margins are insane and they're #1 on Steam. And I think these big companies their ego can't handle this shit. They're like, what are they doing that we're not? And so they look at themselves, they're like, we put millions of dollars into this MMO and it's churning a profit, but it's not what this is. We want this. And that's the problem, I think. Is they're looking at all these, shit little, they're not even shit games, honestly. A lot of them are good, but they're looking at these more cheaply made games, and they're like, well, they can drive a profit. Maybe we can get into that market too. So they give us freaking automated Snoop Dogg. And what is Snoop Dogg even doing anyways? This guy's on his 13th side quest because he completed his main questing journey in life, become a famous rapper. So now he's cooking with Barbara Streisand or something. I don't know what lately. Martha Stewart. He was streaming on Twitch not too long ago. Yeah, like I said before, he's just in his side quest era now. Now he's an NPC in a freaking game.
When I was in university. You see, I've got a BEng computer science, and from doing that, I can tell you that Boot teaches this stuff incalculably better. Now, what they teach you is back-end development. That's the kind that lands 100K plus comp jobs, and they do it through a proper 12-month structured program that's like a role-playing game. I mean, literally, leaderboards, achievements, a Discord that actually helps, and over 750,000 students have completed 33.7 million lessons, which is wild, and that's including TypeScript, Go, and
Yeah,
Python
Jamal, you said if a
from the
company's not making
fundamentals
money,
up.
they go out of
So this
business,
is not
sadly.
some
That's
very
true, but
code
I
for
don't think
weeks
New
silly
World wasn't
scouting.
making a money.
Boot teaches you
You got to
the
remember too, like
fundamentals that
Amazon has an
separate
advantage over, say,
professional
like a
developers
Blizzard,
from
or maybe not
vibe
anymore because they're
coders
part of
who ship
Microsoft.
security nightmares.
But
Just take a
they
look
have
at
an
the inventory.
advantage over, say, like a lot of other companies because they're using their own hosted servers. Amazon Web Services, they have their own servers, and server tech is like the most expensive part of running an MMO. So, other than maybe the upfront dev time that goes into it. So, I feel like they probably were driving a profit from this thing, but there's the ever chasing of greater profits, right? Bigger profit margins. We could do this better. Yes, we're a highly profitable company, but we could be more profitable. It's that chase, right, to raise your stock and all that shit. It's a greedy way of doing shit, but it's the way of the corporate America.
Training grounds feature. It's kind of wild. It knows what you've learned on their platform, and then it uses that to challenge you, basically generating personalized coding problems using spaced
I know,
repetition.
Martha Stewart and Barbara
so you
I know.
actually learn.
I know.
It's always growing. It's an actual community, and you can actually browse all of their contents.
I don't know
for
why I say this shit I
completely
say
free.
sometimes.
You only pay when
Use
you want to get
boot.dev,
stuck into all the interactivity and game-related stuff. So, to learn it all properly and get 25% off your first purchase, go to boot.dev/bellularnews. The way to save the most money is to do that on the annual plan, and of course that's backed up by the fact that if you're not happy,
It's a long
they'll
ad.
refund you on the spot. Okay, so New World is a small bit of a larger story where Amazon just laid off 14,000 people worldwide,
Damn.
and reports suggest it's part of a wider corporate move where they're basically cutting down staff after the pandemic boom. But equally, they're freeing up more resources for robotics and their AI budget, which
Fucking
always must
AI.
be bigger. Now, at least one of those things is unlikely to impact gaming, at least for now.
Look, AI can be a good thing. It can be. It can help people get more done in a day. It can help you. We'll get more content, right? We'll get faster expansions and WoW and faster content because AI helps do a lot of the monotonous shit. And so devs can do a lot of the creative stuff. The problem is a lot of these corporations think that AI is ready to take over everything. They're going to do the creative shit. They're going to do the coding. They're going to do it all. And the truth is, no, it's not. It's creating a lot of garbage. It's nowhere near that point yet. The creativity that humans have is still very much a key holder over AI. And when you remove people and replace them with AI, honestly, you're replacing creativity most of the time. You just get a bunch of regurgitated garbage. And these companies, again, in the chase of greater profits, are jumping off a fucking cliff into the AI world saying, we're ready. Let's do it. Fire everybody. Replace them with AI. And the truth is AI isn't ready for that yet.
The robots. But going back to the layoffs, in addition to Amazon Games, we've also seen them across Twitch. And not just small roles, I mean decade-plus veterans who have now been removed. Basically, the people who built entire systems over at Twitch. Things like the fraud program that protected creators. Those people are, gone. And I suppose, hey, they let them get through TwitchCon before they went and did the firings. Yeah. I'm sure all the headlines about attacks and streamers will be comforting to them as they go and collect their severance. But as for the Amazon Games side, well, they've been hit even more than Twitch, because, once again, Amazon has tried to pivot their strategy. And this time...
That's right. I always forget that Twitch is part of Amazon. Like, of course, the Twitch layoffs are also Amazon layoffs.
It is away from their only real homegrown success. Let's return the focus back to New World. So a month ago, Amazon's development teams released their latest major update for the game. It was called Night Haven, and it was seemingly a success with solid reviews. They also gave away their only paid expansion, Angry Earth, at the same time, and all of this spiked Steam's concurrent users to the highest point in a year.
Right. Well, it was a big deal. Wasn't this the expand? Didn't it give you like mounted? Like they had mounts now in New World? Like that was a bit, like the game didn't have mounts. Now it has mounts. Like it feels like it was heading in the right direction. Look at that spike. That's a big expansion spike. I mean, they went back down after, obviously. We even see that in WoW. Typically, you want to see the spike happen, and there's no way this stays this high, but you want to see people come back down and then maybe level out at a level that was slightly higher than the end of your previous expansion, and that didn't happen. They actually went below it. But still, I don't think it was in a place where the game was dead yet, and they just killed it.
It actually looked good. Now, obviously...
It was only a few weeks ago. Yeah, what the hell? Why would they release an expansion and then kill the game a few weeks later? This seems like such an abrupt, weird decision.
was never going to match the launch in terms of numbers. That launch had nearly 1 million people on Steam, but obviously a lot of them were kind of just waiting in the queue, so the concurrency shown in Steam, maybe a little bit inflated. But still, there was enough long-term success that the game survived well enough up to 2020.
They shut down the studio before releasing the expansion? Okay. It's still weird. I mean, they put all this time into creating an expansion and they're not even going to ride it out?
Which is when the console editions would launch. It was obviously enough for them to do a paid expansion, and at the same time as the console launch, they actually tied it in to the Secret Level series. And in the episode covering this game, they even got Arnold Schwarzenegger to do a voice. So they certainly were trying to market New World. But after these layoffs, well, the team made an announcement in the blog post, where they say this: it's now, quote, unsustainable to continue supporting the game with new content updates. So, from that, we can glean that maybe the new content could have underperformed, but I don't think that we can disconnect this from the timing of the broader layoffs at Amazon and Amazon Games, because under different circumstances, New World may have got its chance to stabilize. After all, all of the updates and the free expansion did actually spike up those player counts. But instead, the game's on ice, no future content updates. The one paid expansion is free for everyone on PC, and there will be server and bug fixes operating through to 2026, and they've committed to players getting 6 months notice before any changes in access.
Yeah, but how do you keep playing it? I mean, there's no way that the numbers aren't going to drop off even more now. It'd be like playing a WoW private server. I mean, I can't play functionally. I cannot participate in an MMO that I know has an end. The end of an MMO to me just signals like, well, I'm not going to play it then. I'm not going to bother putting my time into this shit and grinding things out and getting gear when it's all going to be deleted soon. That's why I never liked the private server scene. So, I mean, even now it's like, oh, we're going to continue to support New World for another year, but it is dying. It's dead. It's not going to come back. I think for sure now the player base, if it wasn't already going down, it's going to freaking nosedive now. I think they lost like 80% or something like that of the player base. You will have diehard fans who continue with the game. 80% is a lot. It is. I don't know what the state of New World's player base was, but I just looked at it and as one of the MMOs that was around, right? It was still in existence. I don't know what there is now. What is it? It's World of Warcraft, obviously. Probably still the most healthy of all of them is World of Warcraft. And then you got like Final Fantasy, which I've heard not good things about recently. Like the end game hasn't been good. What else? ESO. ESO's been around for a while. That one continues to push forward. Other than that, you got like all these indie dev companies trying to make MMOs, but they haven't even been able to launch it off the ground yet. Like, what's that Phoenix freaking studio? What the hell are they making? They got their MMO coming out that's been in development forever. And then you got Riot. Right, Riot's making the whole MMO for their studio. So based off of Runeterra and all the League of Legends characters and everything. So that's probably the biggest one on the horizon. Other than that, I mean, where's the MMO genre heading right now? Like, it's just World of Warcraft at the forefront and a couple guys behind them.
To the game, which basically
Guild Wars 2, that's another one.
Means if they're going to shut it down properly, they'll let you know 6 months beforehand. But that's not all that went on. Some of the rollout here was a total mess. As an example, they told players the game would stay on Steam, but then the game got removed from Steam for nearly a day. It seems that weird backend updates caused the problem, and the Steam page, it got gutted of all marketing except for a warning image. And now it's obviously full of anger.
Well, they got like 2 people running the whole freaking game right now. So yeah, things are gonna break. That makes sense. Not a fan of the game, but I like competition for WoW. Yes, I totally agree. A lot of the great things that we have in WoW right now: dynamic flight, Guild Wars 2. A lot of the changes we've seen in the game, better. Even listening to the community feedback. Final Fantasy can be thanked for that. They were a great community when it came to listening to feedback. And I think Blizzard took notes from that and decided to take off. Final Fantasy was a great thing for World of Warcraft, its popularity. So I agree. Competition breeds excellence.
Reviews about the game being abandoned. Obviously, no new players are going to be picking this up with much excitement given the news, and that's why we're down to a 37% recent positive review score over on Steam. So all in all, it's an ignominious end for a game that actually managed to launch as an MMO after most of the competition had already kind of tried to be a WoW killer, and while it obviously wasn't a WoW killer, it was a very different game, it managed to carve out its own niche, and it stayed as one of the top 100 most played games on Steam.
Exactly, Connie.
Obviously, that wasn't enough. And it seems the devs may have known some of this was coming. They actually left a text note in the latest patch thanking and saluting players for playing the game, which obviously, now that we kind of know the context, hits a little bit different. But today's story isn't just New World, because it may not be the only cancellation, and that is because Amazon are cutting deep into their gaming division. We can look to staff announcing their own layoffs to get a little bit more info. Basically, we know that the same team building New World was also building the, quote, fledgling Lord of the Rings game. No. And from what we've gathered, both projects are similarly impacted.
Ah, damn, man. I was excited for the Lord of the Rings on. I started playing World of Warcraft because of Lord of the Rings, because my dad took me to the theater and we watched Lord of the Rings, and I wanted to play a game that was Lord of the Rings-esque. I'm like, oh, what's this? World of Warcraft? They got dwarves and elves. Hey, this is Lord of the Rings. I want to play this, and that's why I got into WoW. So yeah, I was excited to see a Lord of the Rings MMO returning again. I hope they didn't kill it. It looks like they did, though.
Now, that Lord of the Rings game was announced as a collaboration with the Embracer Group back in 2022.
Are their servers staying up? It looks like for another year, maybe.
It was actually Amazon's second attempt to make a Lord of the Rings MMO, which sounds kind of wild, but rights and bullshit certainly are what they are. And perhaps when those plans were first made, they thought Rings of Power would have done a little bit better. Anyway, Amazon's...
Oh yeah, that is an Amazon thing. That's right. I watched Rings of Power. I actually think the most recent season was pretty good. It was better than the season before. So, yeah, they probably thought it was going to do better, though.
Seems unlikely to commit the resources needed for that game. We have this quote. It's of significant role reductions that have hit the Irvine and San Diego MMO teams. Internal MMOs are seemingly completely off the table now, though support for Western publication stuff is going to continue, and that covers games like Throne of Liberty and Lost Ark. Amazon's reps confirm that to Massively OP, so it does seem that at least for those things, the profit margin is still solid. But Amazon's gaming ambition is very much not over because other things are in development. Now, Steve Boom, he's the vice president of audio
Show us
Twitch
the Snoop Dogg game.
Confirmed that the AAA Tomb Raider game is actually still in development with Crystal Dynamics. It's the one that's going to have synergy with an upcoming Amazon Prime Video production, so maybe that's why that one isn't dead, and we know there are two other projects that will continue as well, and those are the recently revealed March of Giants Dieselpunk MOBA, and then the 2024 collaboration on an open-world AAA racing game with Maverick Games. But to get a proper handle on this, we need to look at the full internal memo that Variety picked up. Now, this memo is from Steve Boom. It starts by heralding an amazing success, and that success is the Snoop Dogg slop, which again I'll get to shortly. A bit weird, but overall, Boom's framing is that Amazon has got to be leaning into the things that Amazon does best, and he cites the recent relaunch of Amazon Luna as an example of that, where it's now got part of the Twitch Prime benefits, basically all baked in, and most importantly, that includes the new generative AI-backed Courtroom Chaos, featuring Snoop Dogg. And their aim here is basically Luna streaming becoming a major living room gameplay benefit. Now, this is all part of Amazon's GameLift tech, which basically is, if you imagine, say, Jackbox, where your phone basically lets you play along at home, it's kind of like that, but much of it is being powered by Gen AI stuff, like, for an example, this Snoop Dogg chatbot that, apparently is a game experience. But what this is just the latest pivot from Amazon. To get a handle on their many pivots, we got to take a...
This is gaming. This is gaming in 2025. Oh, no. No, I don't fault Snoop Dogg for this. The man's just making some extra money. He's doing a side quest again. But it looks like this is some kind of game. You talk to it, and the AI reacts, and it's like a defendant and a win. Oh, so you're in a court? You're in a courtroom? I play a lawyer in real life. I don't want to play it in a game. But yeah, okay. Interesting.
Handling their many pivots. We got to take a look at this February post from Ethan Evans. Now, he was the Amazon
Looks like an appeal to gambling and crypto bros.
2020. And in typical LinkedIn style, he does talk about something interesting, just in very LinkedIn words. Now, what he talks about is how Amazon tried to take on Steam in 2008. Imagine instead of Gabe, we could have had Jeff. Not a great comparison, but the point here is that Amazon basically thought that they just needed to make an alternative store. Now, as we all know, that did not succeed. But during that time, they purchased and then killed Reflective Entertainment. They were one of the biggest casual game stores on the internet, and they were supposed to be a stepping stone towards Amazon's big ambition of taking on Steam. That obviously didn't work, so they pivoted again, and when they did, they bought Twitch in 2014, essentially hoping that the attention they would get from Twitch would move the needle on their own store.
Yeah, we saw them. You guys remember with New World, when New World came out, I played it, and Amazon had this huge campaign for Twitch streamers where, like, you could link your Twitch directly to the game, and people could actually see how many viewers you had and see that you were live, like, above your character's head in the game in New World. That was a big thing. They had Twitch integrations with a bunch of drops, obviously. Like, there's been constant drops for this thing in Twitch. So, yeah, they tried to use Twitch as, like, a marketing platform for their own games. Whether it's worked or not, I don't know. I guess it didn't work out for New World. Yeah, and even, you guys remember they tried to do, like, this ad overlay technology where, like, you'd be walking in a city and there'd be, like, an ad for Pepsi on the side of a building. It's, like, not a blatantly obvious screen ad. It's, like, an integrated in the game ad. I remember we went over all that shit. They had so many plans for New World, and it all just ended. It's pretty shocking.
The result of that was Twitch Prime being rebranded as Prime Gaming in 2020, and as of 2025, that's now been replaced with Luna Standard, including the cloud services stuff. That's quite the pivot, and it's because by 2020, they really stopped their big store ambitions. Though funnily enough, they did that right as they actually started to find success with game releases. Now, they had spent a decade working on proprietary mobile game stores that didn't work. In 2016, they killed Breakaway, which was their Twitch-integrated 4v4 fantasy sports game. There was another big bet in the form of Crucible. It had been in development since 2014, it launched in 2020, and unlaunched just a month later. Now, when that happened, all internal focus shifted over to New World, and New World worked. Even though they couldn't sustain the launch hype, they persisted. They muddled through where every previous game had failed. Amazon had found their niche, something that their scale could deliver that others couldn't, and now they are abandoning it. Yet again, they have pivoted, and now it's to a future that honestly, I think looks shit. Here's the thing, running a service game gave Amazon's publishing wing some new revenue streams. The Western releases of games like Lost Ark actually worked, and that all would have set the company up for their next project, where they could learn from all of their mistakes and make something like the Lord of the Rings MMO. It actually did make sense, it stood to reason, but now that won't happen, because Amazon would rather focus on small-scale multiplayer games, not MMOs. They would
low-cost,
rather have Luna
high-profit
in your living room, something that benefits every single Prime subscriber. So it's not games made for people who like games, it is Prime content for people who are subscribed to Prime in the form of games. That means no console required, no PC required, and, I think, no us required. They're simply not going to make things that we're interested in because we're not relevant to their Prime strategy.
They want the casual Andes.
How their Prime strategy fits into their AI plays, including their AI plays in games, as we've seen with Courtroom.
I mean, it's definitely much easier for AI to make a courtroom Snoop Dogg simulator than an MMO. MMOs are overly complicated. AI is nowhere near capable of making a fully fledged MMO, but it is capable of making a tiny mobile game. So I guess that's their play.
Chaos, featuring the Snoop Dogg. Incredible. I love creativity, love art, fantastic. What a brilliant future. I can't wait to boot up Luna on my smart television. But what I will do is leave you with something, a neat little game called Escape from Duck-Off that's on absolutely goddamn huge numbers. It's exploded in Steam, even though most
Escape from Duck-Off, that's another big, indie development game that's freaking doing crazy numbers.
The West wouldn't even know about it, even though they probably would like it. And you can find all about that in this video next.
Yep. Yeah, cool. Nice video, not nice things, though. If the entire industry is heading the way of Amazon, it's not looking good, boys. I mean, at least World of Warcraft's still around, will probably continue to be around, considering how much Microsoft spent on Blizzard Activision to get it acquired. They're not going to let go of one of its big IPs, so that plays in favor for us. But in terms of like competition, iteration, innovation, competition dying off is not a good thing for us. So we'll see where things go forward. I'm still hopeful that Lord of the Rings isn't killed off, but it looks like it might be. Overall, a nice video from Bellular.